Chairman Ash contacted me last night, and the newspaper, I think he called them too. But he asked me to chair for him today. He's, probably everybody knows he's in the hospital with some, they're running some tests on him for heart stuff, and, but basically, I think me and Justice Nelson and Justice Hepler are the only ones on this committee. But, pretty much what he was wanting to do is, he sent us, or gave us a copy of the Robertson rules, and we've pretty much been, doing everything by these. I'm gonna put my mask on the bench. And, but I think the only,
Yeah, I don't.
Bring it simple.
I will. But I think the only change maybe that he was considering and maybe wanting this committee to consider is following the Robertson rule by appointing, each committee should have no more than 5 members on it, except for the emergency committee, which would have the chairman from each committee. And then also the court, the JPs, whatever, just to say I'm on personnel. So the people that's on the personnel committee would elect the chairman instead of the judge appointing the chairman. And that's pretty much the way the Robertson rule says do it. And that's pretty much the gist of it.
I think all this is allowed by the state constitution.
Yes, it is.
Spelled out, and I think Justice Ash had talked to Eddie Jones to
He
seek
has.
direction in council.
Yes, I think he has too. I personally think it would be a good idea. I mean, I think finance has 4 on it. You know, every committee should have an equal amount on it, and you know, at least 5, where any concerns or any ideals could be shared. You know, we're all on road and bridges, we're all on police and fire, but, every committee I think should have 5, and well, this committee has 5. Me, you, Ms. Epler, Mr. Clay, and Rick. So, I mean, why don't all committees have 5?
Yeah. The number 5 honestly makes it a little easier to have a quorum.
Exactly, because it's not easy for everybody to make a 1 o'clock or 1:30 or 10:30 in the morning meeting.
Yeah. And looking over it, we ought to point out too, it does not affect the judge's authority to appoint the committee members.
That's correct.
That is by constitution, the judge appoints the committee members, and that's still his responsibility and duty.
Right.
So we're not affecting that at all.
Now, the only thing we'll be changing is putting 5 on every committee, except for emergency committee, which will have the chair from each committee, and each committee will elect their chair, which I think is a great idea. Because the committees know who is more capable of being the chair.
The only thing I catch right quick is in the title, appropriation ordinance. That wouldn't be an appropriation ordinance because it does not involve money. It would just be an ordinance. So I would suggest.
We could change that.
I would suggest you strike that from the title and just make it ordinance number so-and-so, which will also cause it to go to 3 readings. But it's, to the way I think of appropriation ordinances, I don't think that's an appropriation ordinance. I think this is a procedural ordinance.
Well, he had Justice Ash prepared this, and I think he took it from some other counties, or got his information from other counties.
Well, now, if he did, maybe that's the way they did it. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to be done. That's my only question. You might ask Justice Ash, you know.
Well, Cindy, you'll be the one to prepare the ordinance if it gets, Jeremy, well, he can contact Justice Ash, that would be the, or maybe you can contact Justice Ash when he gets better and let Jeremy know that it don't have to be an appropriation ordinance if it doesn't have to be.
Chairman, question 2, a procedural question on this. When do we actually vote on this?
Well, the committee had to vote to send it to the full court today if they choose so.
But when would the full court vote on it?
I guess Friday. That'll be our last yearly meeting.
Again, we might want to check with Justice Ash, and I think from Eddie Jones, that Eddie, I think, may have recommended that this be passed in the first organizational meeting on January 1, right after we're sworn in, and the judge calls, because what this does is set up the rules and procedures for the quorum court from, for the next 2 years.
Well,
Now, I think, but I'm not sure.
yeah, the only thing is, I don't know, but in the past, when we have that organizational meeting, the judge has already made the committees and the chairmans.
Yeah, and and I think that.
We were handed that out every year, so I mean, it may be something we wanna do right now. I mean, I don't know. That's,
I'm ready to vote on it. I mean, I'd vote on it in the next meeting.
the only thing we gotta do is decide whether or not it's a appropriation ordinance or not, and we can have it written up, the
Okay.
other way, and, or, of course, we can get around the 3 readings as anyhow. But if anybody, if the committee members agree, I'd entertain a motion to, put this before the full court.
I'll second it.
You have to
I'll
make,
you want me to make the motion? Make a motion to put this the way it should read as an order and send it to the next
To the
full court.
And I'm the only other member, right?
yes, sir.
Second.
Well, if nobody else has anything for this committee, it's adjourned.
Okay.
I've got extra copies of this.
That
if
way we
anybody wants
can
them.
pick a chairman.